If a man's compassion and morality outstrips the compassion and morality of his God, then the man has outgrown his God, surpassed him. As far as I'm concerned, this is the central story of the Bible. It's counterintuitive to my mind that it doesn't physically occupy a place of importance at the beginning of the book. It is not, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, but rather, in the beginning man challenged his God and found himself superior. However, the story is told in Genesis, chapter 18, beginning at verse 20. Abraham converses with his God as his God investigates the cry of sin that has come up from Sodom and Gomorrah. It is implied, but not said, that his God intends to punish the city's sin with destruction. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry which has come to me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from there and went toward Sodom. But Abraham still stood before the Lord. But Abraham still stood before the Lord, it says. The implication here is that Abraham did not think the matter ended. He felt he still had something to say and apparently believed he still had an influence. Now here's the remarkable thing that happens next. Abraham bargains with his God for the lives of Sodom's inhabitants. And Abraham drew near and said, will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Notice that it says Abraham drew near, giving a feeling of moving closer to say something of gravity confidentially to someone. It implies intimacy, challenge, and aggression. One moves closer to have a heart-to-heart conversation with an equal. Of course, Abraham's God is non-physical, so the statement begs the question, moves closer to what? He moves closer figuratively, showing that this story is allegory. Perhaps there are only 50 righteous inside the city. Will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous who are in it? Be it far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. Be it far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Abraham sasses his God. He says pointedly, how could you, the Almighty, do the immoral? How could you destroy an entire city for the wickedness of a few of its inhabitants? It seems at first glance that Abraham bargains for the lives of only the righteous. But I believe in his heart he makes no distinction between the people. Abraham believes, however, that his God does make distinction and bargains accordingly. In so doing, he demands that his God rise to his own higher level of morality. Astoundingly, Abraham's God relents. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous inside the city, then I will spare the whole place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. The patriarch marvels that he, dust he calls himself, can challenge his God as an equal.